Well, once again, I've delayed the tabletop review on a knife so long that it's no longer being made by the manufacturer. Welcome to the very short tabletop review on the Tops Operation Badger. I've had this knife for about 4 or 5 years. I truly forget. It's been so long that I don't even think I can go find the testing footage of the blade. So you're just going to look at my hands, the TMP Shark patch, this, and the knife. Now, I did click around. If you like the knife, there are secondary sources where it is being sold. I think the price will go up. Maybe it has some collectability, maybe it doesn't. This particular knife I will sell through our web store. That is www.nutnfancybigcartel.com. And if you want it signed, I'll sign it. I would think twice about it though, because the blade is coated and it's really hard to sign through this coating. It's just, you're just kind of peeling it away, but if you really want it, you know, I'll do it for you. It's a cool knife. It's kind of a medium-sized, heavy-duty blade, the Operation Badger. And I had tested it in several locations on about at least two outings. It's 1095 steel. The weight of the knife by itself is 14 ounces. With the sheath, I think I wrote it here, 19 ounces. So that's not super lightweight, but again, we go into that old firepower versus mobility discussion. If you want a knife that's going to chop, you got to take some weight. And if you don't want a big old survival knife, which I love and still advocate to this day for certain uses, then go with something like this. I will show you some competitive options though. I'm going to start off with a sheath though, and I don't like this sheath. It is a price point sheath. I think we get that, so it doesn't add a ton of weight, but it's not very high quality. The nylon being used around the circumference is a low quality Chinese nylon. Probably everything is Chinese, but I'm more looking at the quality. You have Velcro retention straps here, which I've always criticized. I don't think they're super smart, especially on a survival knife. Weeds, seeds, snow gets compacted here, and lo and behold, it doesn't work, and it wears out. Just give me a simple snap. Better yet, give me a plastic sheath that is form-fitted to the Operation Badger or any of your other survival knives. So when I put it in, it just goes click. I think I have a couple options I'm going to show you that do just that. I put the 550 cord on it. It is MOLLE capable, the Operation Badger. No drain holes. There's a plastic insert here. You can heat form that insert to get more traction on the blade. I don't think I did that. So when it inserts, if you turn it upside down, it can fall out. You should heat form it just for safety reasons. So sheath it's okay. I would probably pitch it and go to Red Hill Kydex and have them make me one if I was keeping this. For all the knives that I keep that are Hall of Famers, I've done that. I'll just go to Red Hill Kydex, tell them Nutnfancy sent you, and they do a beautiful job with their Kydex. No, they don't pay me. I just like them. They're a small mom and pop operation. Lots of places do Kydex, but I'm very faithful to people who take care of my audience, and I know for a fact that they have. There you go. Quick plug for Red Hill. Looking at the handle, really cool. And a lot of Tops knives feature this handle material, micarta. It's just really nice. Get more traction when it's wet. There's no hot spots. Notice there's no extended tang like I've criticized before, so if I'm chopping, it's not coming down here and battering my pinky. Great job on the discontinued Operation Badger. And one thing that I really loved about this knife, still do, is that it has a very functional ramp with jimping for more control in the cut. If you want to choke up on the blade, you have a choil right here, a forward choil, rear choil, and you can really get a lot of control of the knife. Look at the thickness of the stock. That's where the weight's coming from. Not an FFG design, so there's a lot of strength. Basically a plank of 1095 steel for digging, chopping, well, chopping for sure. Prying though, you could pry with this. Whereas with an FFG blade, we're not going to have the same amount of strength as you would with this mid-spine, somewhat organic grind. The flat here will make it easier to resharpen with a consistent angle sharpener. Out of box, the Operation Badger, as a lot of the Tops knives are, came really sharp. In fact, still it's wearing a very keen edge. I don't think I've used that word in a while. Keen edge. Little hole there for functional interest. Nice tip on it. Look at the edge. Well done. So this is, I would bet, a hand-produced edge. Someone put it on a wheel and knew what they're doing. Unsharpened swedge. Crinkle finish on here, which has worn well, as you can tell. It will smooth out as time goes, but it does a pretty good job of protecting a very rust-prone 1095. And if you don't know it, you should if you've been watching the show. I really love 1095 as a wood blade. It's a great steel. It doesn't break the bank. When this knife came out, it was 120 bucks. 1095 is excellent. Torque screw, so if you want to take the knife apart, if you dunk it, you can see I have some rust coming through from here. I think I did outings in the snow. That's what it looks like. It's just peeking out. I didn't ever take it off and dry it. I've just got too many other things to do. There's your lanyard attachment place right here. You might, for this weight, expect a hammering function, so maybe a flattened pommel so we could hammer stakes in it. You're not getting that with the, the defunct Operation Badger. I think they don't carry it. I went all over their website tonight. I didn't see it anywhere. I saw the names in various forums, but not this particular knife. So you're not getting a hammering function. But what we do get is a long enough handle where it's comfortable. If we were to go back and look at my 2009 Ranger knife reviews, one of the criticisms I have, and they've never changed it to this date, and that is they have very short handles. So a Ranger knife like an RD9 would end right about here. No such problem with this knife. I mean, it's here. And it hacks good. This knife can chop. It can cut. It can plank out wood. You can do draw cuts with it. It's really a cool blade. For 120 bucks, even if it goes up to 140, 150, totally worth it. US produced too. Competitive options. I just went to the knife bin. It's been a while since we've looked at some of these, so I'll throw them on the table. How about the Ontario Rat 7? Booyah. This is a really interesting case study in design, by the way. So here we have, and this one has not been tested. It's new in our stock. I'm never selling this. This is in D2. It's a full flat grind. It has the crinkle finish on it as well because it's a rust-prone steel as well. But you can see that I think the Operation Badger might be a stronger knife in certain applications. Now let me tell you this, and I want to keep it real, is I have broken a tip on a Tops knife and it was very similar. In fact, I'm hoping to do the review tonight because I want to put it out through our website and get rid of it and get more money to buy more knives. It's this one right here. So it's a Tops Armageddon. I think this is the one I broke the tip on. It may have been the Operation Badger. Honestly, I forget. It's been so long. It's one of these two knives. I jammed it into the log and I pried it and I had a breakage right about here. Maybe it was this one. It was probably the Op Badger. Good on Tops though because they replaced it with no questions asked. There was no harassment. Hey, what were you doing with the blade? I don't know. Woodscraft, the stuff the blade is designed for, they replaced it, no questions asked. So A+ to Tops for excellent customer service. And actually, I think it was this knife. So my point in bringing that up is, one, to give you a history of the testing, and two, to show you that even though this is stronger, I'm talking through the spine here. So I think this might have a little bit more strength in a prying. That being said, the Rat 7s I've used, I've never been disappointed with. Rounded handles. You have a little bit of a tang protrusion here, which I don't really dig on the Rat designs. For that matter, on the SE designs. Decent. Classic drop point. Oh, it's just a beautiful blade. Edge on this D2 Rat 7. Excellent, excellent. Just a competitive option. The sheath is just as crappy on this Rat 7. This one goes back a few years, so maybe, you know, Ontario has changed it. I don't know. So here we go. Next one, competitive option. Oh, how about the Buck Punk? Dude, we haven't seen this knife forever. This is a cool knife. It really is. However, it's a much lighter knife than the Op Badger is. It has the same style of coating. You can see it'll wear as it comes off. This is a spring steel 5160 and much thinner. So it's going to be a better food production knife. I attempted to put skateboard tape here to give it some traction. I probably ought to just take a Dremel tool and put in my own jimping. I think I'm going to do that. Love the scales. You can take those off. I think it has a hollow portion in there to mitigate shock to the handle. It's a cool knife, man. Still got a wicked edge on it. Wicked edge. It's a lot lighter. I don't have a weight written down on it, but it's a lot lighter than this one. So maybe it's a next smaller size down, but it's an option. You know, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. I think Buck is still making those. I should have checked. I've heard rumors that they're discontinuing them, so I don't know. Maybe not. I probably will never sell that one. Don't hold me to that either, though. Here's one. Oh, dude, Swamp Rat. Freaking look at these blades. This one's new, coming out of storage. Go watch my Swamp Rat rodent reviews. They're just wicked. Great steel. I talk about the steel they use. Now that is a thick blade. That's like a 1/4 inch thick. It would dominate this in strength, durability, and ultimate, I don't know, badassedness. It just would. Great handle. These are expensive and they come without a sheath though. So like I said in the reviews of the Swamp Rat knives, I don't know if they represent ultimate value. They don't, because you're going to have to put some money in it to get it better. But as far as durability and the quality of the steels, the edge that it comes with, the prying capability, if you go watch my reviews, I show you that I'm putting this tip into a tree and prying, no breakages whatsoever. Here comes, believe it or not, an SC knife. And, you know, this is basically a Rat 7. This is an RC6. But if you hold these two, it's the same knife, basically. Same designer, you know. RC6 is still a great blade. 1095 US production. It's funny, years ago there used to be such a discussion like, oh man, the Rats, you know, the Rats suck compared to SC. I hope people can see they're very similar knives. I think the traction on the SC is better than this, but all the other design features are identical. Well, I shouldn't say identical. I think the blade steel and the blade tempering and everything they do at SC is better than that blade, but consider their price, you know, might want to think about it. And this is the one that has a beautiful sheath on it. So here's the RC6 sheath in FTE. That's what I'm talking about. So it snips in, waterproof, drain hole right there, MOLLE capable, belt capable. This is a really, really good knife. Really good knife. I mean, if you're looking for it, and that's all I'm going to show you on this particular tabletop. I'm looking on my floor to see what else I got. Any knife on here would serve you as a medium-sized, super heavy-duty woods blade. And by woods blade, that's one that you would go in, maybe do shelter craft, fire making, some food production, I should say food preparation, maybe killing game with some spear action. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about strapping on a loincloth and off we run through the woods and we're going to be super successful taking a wild boar. You're going to have to somehow funnel that game and make it slower than you are, and as humans we're pretty damn slow, but it's possible, and definitely for self-defense against bear or something. All of these knives could be strapped on to you know, a tip of, or to a spear. I love the hollow rivets on the Swamp Rat. This particular one though, these are great knives. But we're talking about the Operation Badger. Would I bring it back? It really depends on what the market's saying. Usually if they discontinue a knife, there's a good reason for it, because it just didn't sell. It just didn't sell. And so I don't know. I think it definitely competes with all these designs. It's a great knife, 1095 steel, American production, really, really nice handle, amazing customer service, crappy sheath, but a lot of these knives have crappy sheaths, and if you really care about it, you can easily upgrade. Done.